Hello friends, Brother Brian here, and today I wanted to talk about one of the most crippling fears out there. And I think all fears are crippling, right? But this one in particular can really be damaging to how much success you have in life, how much success you have in your home-based business, or whatever it is you're doing. And that's the fear of what other people think, right? The fear of criticism. Getting criticized by others, right? And I'm sure most of us are guilty of it, if not all of us. I know I used to be, and I still am. I mean, you know, guys, this is, life is just a continuous work in progress, right? But my mentor, Mike Hobbs, he brought up an interesting story about when he was young, he didn't really have good clothes when he went to school, right? They didn't have a lot of money when he was growing up, right? So he'd kind of wear the same clothes over and over again. Sometimes they were dirty. And you could only imagine, I mean, how much he must have been picked on in school. And I know, for me, junior high in particular was pretty traumatizing, right? I was very quiet. I was very shy. I was always worried about what other people are going to think of what I say. I was always worried about what I would wear to school. They would call me schoolboy, right? Because I kind of went to schools, I don't want to say in the ghetto, but let's just say most of the kids that I went to school with weren't very passionate about education. So I used to get called schoolboy. I went to school with mostly Hispanic kids, and a lot of them were kind of like that gangster type, right? So they'd say, "What you looking at, white boy?" or whatever it is, right, guys? I mean, not that race matters, but I'm just trying to bring up the fact that, a lot of times we're in fear of what other people think, fear of criticism, right? Now, Mike was obviously criticized for his clothes. Now, I want you to think about what are some of the fears that you have of criticism, right? Maybe you're starting an online business, but you're afraid of what your family's going to think about that, or you're afraid of what your friends are going to think about that, or, whatever it is, right? Maybe you're, as I'm cutting this video right now, what if I was concerned about what everybody else was going to think, right? Oh my goodness, do I look okay? Is my hat on? And blah, 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 right? It would prevent me from being able to add value, right? And I think, in my opinion, one of the best ways to get over fear is to just, boom, take action and do it. Don't worry about it, just do it. You got to get in that mindset, guys, of taking action. Because otherwise, if you're constantly living in a state of fear, if you're constantly worrying about things, if you're constantly concerned about what someone else might be thinking about you, how someone else might be perceiving your actions, that's just going to hold you back. I mean, what good is that going to do? I ask you that. Now, Mike, my mentor, Mike Hobbs, one of the things that he does is he says he's able to channel that fear into energy, right? He's self-aware of it, and he gave an example of, nowadays you would never think that he's fearful because he cuts so many videos. He recently spoke in front of around 5,000 people at an event on stage. But guys, he said that internally he was in such a state of fear, but he was able to channel that energy, right? As he felt his heart start beating or whatever experiences he might have had, right? I want you to think about yourself. Are you concerned about what other people are thinking? Are you concerned about how other people perceive you? And I'm almost positive you are in some respect, because I know I am. I know I'm guilty of it. Guys, I know I've came a long way. I used to be incredibly shy, and I've came a long way. But at the same time, I know I've got a long way to go. And that's the beauty of life. But I think if you can become aware of those thoughts in your head when you do something, or maybe when you're about to do something, you're about to take action, but something holds you back, right? You hear that little voice in your head saying, and I'll just use myself as an example. Let's say I'm about to cut a video, right? And let's say, or maybe I already cut the video. I'm about to upload the video, but all of a sudden I get that little voice in my head, right? It's saying, I don't think this video was that great, Brian. Cut it again, or let's wait. Let's see if we can cut a better one tomorrow, right? You know, and I still hear that voice today, right? But sometimes you just got to tell that voice, shh, I don't care. I'm not concerned about what other people think of me. I'm going to take action right now because I know this is in my best interest. And yes, I may be a little bit nervous. Maybe as I'm about to cut that video, I feel my heart start racing, right? Or I'm getting a little bit shaky, I'm getting a little cramp in my stomach, or whatever it is, right? We're all geared a little bit differently. We might have different symptoms. But one of the main things is becoming aware of that. And when you become aware of that, if you're able to channel that into something positive, channel that energy, know that you're going to be adding value to people's lives by taking action on whatever you're doing. And also think about, most of the time what we think about, when we're thinking about what someone else is thinking, most of the time we're wrong. Guys, I hate to say this, but most of the time other people aren't thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves. I mean, I forget the number, but I once heard that we have thousands and thousands of thoughts per day. Do you really think other people are going around and just, who can I think about right now, right? Most of the time we're thinking about our own lives. So most of the time these thoughts that we have that are holding us back, that fear of criticism, isn't even real. So guys, I want you to think about that. I want you to become aware of that. Try your best to become aware of the little symptoms that arise when you start to worry about that fear of criticism, when you start to worry about, well, if I do X, what are some of the things that people are going to think about me, right? And a common one is when you first get into, and I mentioned this earlier, when you first get into a home-based business, you're kind of going against the norms of society, right? Pardon me. And whenever you go against the norms, you're going to get resistance. But instead of resisting that resistance, focus on doing what's right for you. If you need to cut that video, if you need to do that blog post, if you need some extra money and you know that getting into a home-based business is going to be, because it's a key. It's a great way to become an entrepreneur. It's a great way to get out of that job. It's a great way to just make a little extra money on the side. And if you know that that's the right path, don't worry about what other people think. Just do it. Do it. If you know it's right in your heart, do it, guys. Become aware of that fear and use that fear to make you a stronger person. So guys, I hope you found some value in this. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from some of your stories. What are some of the fears that you had of other people and how were you able to overcome them? Because guys, when you add those comments below, others are going to read those stories, and I guarantee you, my story's not going to resonate with everybody, but your story might resonate with people that mine doesn't. And you're going to be helping people to overcome those fears. And that's one of the most powerful things you can do. When you overcome that fear, when you don't care about what other people think, when you do what's right because you know it's right, not because someone else told you, that's when you become even more powerful, guys. That's when you're able to impact even more people's lives and really achieve success and really live that amazing life. So once again, guys, I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you found some value in this. If you did, please like it. Please share it. Please comment it. I would greatly appreciate it. And I am going to check out, and I'll see you soon. Peace, my friends.